Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Create with Dee. I'm Dee Slater, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my Wednesday live at 10 a.m., where I'm streaming both on Facebook and on YouTube. So wherever you're watching from, thank you for joining, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay. As always, if there's anything in this video that you like, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, a heart, and if there's somebody that you think might enjoy this video, please do share it. I would really appreciate it. If you want to, as you come on, again, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, if you want to say a quick hi in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. I'm in Northeast Indiana, and we just got over having a storm that went through last night. Our area did not have, it was kind of hit or miss within even our little city, but we had at our house about anywhere from a quarter size to a ping pong ball size of hail. But I had seen on social media where some people had a whole palm full of hail. So a lot of damaging storms that went through our area yesterday, but the sun's out today and it's a brand new, beautiful day. Okay. So as we get started, I wanted to also kind of just, as people are getting notifications, just kind of share a little bit of some of my upcoming projects and classes for you. One is that next week we'll be making these cards from the Unbound Beauties suite of products. If you are on my newsletter, you would have the opportunity of ordering this kit. I'm calling it a craft along, and there's a specific measurement that I'm excited to show you about next week. So we'll be doing this next Wednesday. And my local girls, this is what we're doing next week at card class. Also, and I'll kind of revisit this here in a little bit, but also Creative Club, there's 2 more days to join this month's Creative Club. These are going to be companion pieces a little bit on what we're making today. It's in the same suite of products. So, so we've got that. All right, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and we'll get started on today's super cute project. So today what we're going to do is we're going to make this, what I think is an adorable little treat holder from the Country Birdhouse Bundle and the Country Woods suite of products from Stampin UP. This will hold Ferrero Roche candy, and I thought this looked like a little nest on its own, like a little egg in a little nest, and I thought, well, that would be a cute treat holder to make to go with our birdhouse treat holder. And then if you want to stay after we do this treat holder, I'm going to do a coordinating little note card and show you how that you can make a really cute little table setting vignette to welcome somebody or a gift. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get started. So this is, at the time of the video, Stampin' Up! Just has a brand new annual catalog. And so the products that I'm going to be featuring today again are from the Country Woods suite of product. I'm going to be using the Country Birdhouse suite or bundle, as well as the Country Lace paper on that. So that's where, if you've got the catalog or you're online, that's what you can do, or to what you know that the products are from. And then we'll be using the dies from the Country Birdhouse to make our treat holder. And I'll give you some tips and tricks along the way on how to do this, on how we're going to do it. All right, so let's go ahead and got my box of goodies here. Trying a new way of organizing myself just a tad bit. All right, so for this, here's the measurements. We'll get to those in just a quick second. Get all of my goodies. All righty. So what we're going to need for our project here today, we are going to need 2 pieces of smoky slate cardstock, cut up 4 by 3.5, and the same size as our Country Lace designer paper, 4 by 3.5. So both of those the same one for die cutting. We're also going to need a smoky slate cardstock for this. And this is cut at start with 3.5 by 3.5. And we want to score it on all 4 sides at 1 inch. So I've done that ahead of time. And then we need some scraps for other die cutting on it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to glue the designer paper onto the cardstock. And what this is going to do is, let me get our little birdhouse out here. Instead of cutting these twice and then gluing them on top of each other, you can kind of save a step and make sure that you don't have to line up all of the points and everything if we go ahead and just layer those on top of each other ahead of time. So we're going to need 2 of them, front and back, because I thought that it would be cute either way that you look at it. You're going to see this. So if this was sitting on a table, if someone saw the back side of it, it's not just an empty box, it's actually the back side of the birdhouse. So that's why we're needing 2 of these. One for the front and one for the back. And, oops. And then once we have those glued together, we are going to use the overall birdhouse die to die cut those out. So I've done that ahead of time so that you can see. So with one pass then, I put the birdhouse die on there, ran it through my die cutting machine, and then I've got this nice backing for the designer paper. That way it's stiff enough to stand upright. And so again, I did that on both of those. So I've got that done ahead of time. And now I'll share with you the trick that I found on putting these together. And it's not so much a trick. It was just I didn't watch the how-to video by Stampin UP. So I had to do it on myself a little bit. Hi, Linda. Thanks for watching. All right. So we're going to need for each front and back 4 pieces from the dies. Out of the smoky slate, we're going to use that for the bottom of the birdhouse. We're going to need, this will be, let me get this sample back in here. So this is going to be the top out of the same smoky slate. This is a little bit of roof trim out of basic white, and out of petal pink, the scallop part of it. And we need a set of them. We need 2 of each of those. So let's go ahead and we'll glue those on. So I'm just going to start with the bottom here. And there is just a slight little front and back on it. It's got just an ever bit of a raised part of it. And so I'm using liquid glue to put these on. So we're going to do front and back at the same time. You can use whatever adhesive of choice. When I put together these 3D items like this, I really like to use liquid glue because I can slide it into place. So like here, I can kind of slide it so that it matches up on that. And now let's go ahead and we'll do the roofs. And what we want to do is, I'm going to show this up close here. I want to put the layers on with the scallop, then the gray roof, and then the white trim. So that's going to be the order that I put them on. And again, I'm using liquid glue. And the shape of the birdhouse, Stampin' Up! Really has helped us out with placing these so that we know exactly where to put these on. So if we line it up here towards the bottom of the roof line, you can see that it lines up perfectly with this little, I'll do it from the back side. There's this little like rounded scallop right at the bottom. So that's where we can just line up our scallop on it. And let's go ahead and we'll do it for the front and back. And that way you can see it a second time, just in case. So a little liquid glue. here's this little scallopy part here below the roof line. That's where we want to go ahead and line that up and put that on first. There's also a cute little stamp that you can put on there if you want some extra detail on the scallop. For today's project, I skipped that extra stamping. Next, what I like to do is put the roof on, the top part of it. So this is the smoky slate again, and this is going to go on the very top part of it. And again, Stampin' Up! Has given us exactly where to go on the die. So you just put it right there and line it up on the edge. And it will just nest perfectly onto the scallop. And, you know, with the liquid glue, I can pull that down a little bit. If it doesn't match exactly, don't worry, because we have our little other connecting piece. And let's go ahead and we'll get the second one on, because we're doing front and back at the same time. But I hope you can see how quickly that this birdhouse can go together. Again, Stampin' Up! Has shown us exactly where this goes. Oops, I have this on upside down. I put glue on the right side. I don't think anybody will know. I'll put this one on the back. Okay, so there again, it lines directly up on it. All right, so now for this little trim piece, what you may want to do is, if you've got fine tip glue pen, you can do that, or a sponge dauber. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little messy here, and I'm going to put some here, and I'm just going to use my finger and spread it to get all of that on there. I've got a baby wipe handy that I'm going to use to wipe off my fingers. And I'm going to put this down on my silicone mat for just a second. It'll stay tacky for a little bit. While my fingers are messy, I'm going to do it again, put a little bit on the second one. Make sure I have the back side of it. Again, you could do a fine tip glue pen, or if you wanted, you could even, you know, ideally you could run it through with sticky strip or sticky sheets on the back. I'm just going to kind of smear that a little bit to take some of the glue off. It'll remain tacky for just a little bit. I'm going to get my baby wipe. You could have a damp cloth handy, and I'll have that ready. Okay, so now I've got glue all on the back. And this little trim piece just goes right up into the peak of the roof. And it will fall, again, you can put it right on top of that little curve right there. So let's do the other one. So see this little strip right here, like where the scallop ends? That tells us that's where the white trim goes. Again, here's that little piece there. You can kind of push it down. Doesn't have to be, you know, exactly on top of it, but you can follow the roof line. So again, Stampin' Up! Has kind of shown us where to go so that we can have successful roof placement. Isn't that cute? I think it's so adorable. All right, I'm going to get my sticky glue off of my hands again and put that off to the side. All right, so the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to go ahead and have some scrap and do this little circle here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use a 3/4 inch circle punch, but you can also use the die. It's exactly the same one. Let me bring that sheet in again. So if you don't have a 3/4 circle sheet, but you have the dies, it's, you know, almost the same size as that. When you do this one, it pokes out this, at the same time it die cuts this little hole right here. And if you wanted to, you just fill that right in. So, you know, then you can have a solid one. So I'm just wanting a solid birdhouse opening there, the little window that they go in, the opening. And so you can either, again, use the die and fill it in, or I'm using, oops, clogged up my liquid glue. There we go. Put a little liquid glue on that 3/4 inch circle, and we'll put that in the center. All right, so we're going to go ahead and decorate our birdhouse from start to finish here first. So other pieces to make our cute little birdhouse is ahead of time from the dies. There's 2 different flower versions in that die set, which is nice. It kind of gives us 2 different looks. I've stamped with Memento black ink, the Tuxedo black ink, the bird image from the stamp set. Cute little bird. So I stamped that in Memento, or in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And then with scrap Pool Party and Petal Pink, I die cut out a set of each color of the flowers. So let's go ahead and we'll color our little bird here first. I'm going to use Stampin' Blends. You can use whatever color that you might like to, or coloring methods that you want to do. You could use, you know, your aqua painters, your pencils, your markers, whatever you like. I'm just happen to be using the blends, and I'm using the Petal Pink and Pool Party. So with the Petal Pink, I'm going to go ahead and color the belly of the bird, the beak, and the feet. And then with Pool Party, I'm going to come in and color everything else. And of course, you can go over this and make it super detailed if you want. With the blends, and really with most of the coloring tools, the more that you go over it, the deeper and richer the color is. So as you can see, I'm just going over the same thing, and it really pops the color. Kind of hold that up so you can see it. So there's our cute little bird. And I'm going to, excuse my arm, I'm going to add a little sparkle to our happy little bird with some Wink Stella. It's got basically sparkles in it, little glitter on it so that it catches the light. I'll go ahead and get our birdie down here first. And I'm going to go ahead and use our Stampin' Dimensionals, regular size for that. And do that. And I'm going to have the bird sit just a little bit on top of the perch here. Okay, oops. Would help if the dimensional stuck to the back of it and I had it stick to my fingernails. There we go. So it's just going to kind of sit right in that location. And then what I'm finding, I did this last week too, is that I ended up needing to cut the mini dimensionals in half in order for them to pop up and not show. So here's a brand new sheet of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the minis in half along one of the edges. And I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to put a mini dimensional on the back side of each of our 4 flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that up. Grab the top of it off. There we go. That way it goes right there. And I'm going to grab the other one, and we'll just kind of put a little mini dimensional on the back side of each of our 4 flowers again. I'm doing it in this order for a reason, and I'll tell you that here in just a little bit. Now we'll go ahead and see if I got the backing off. Now we can take the backing off of it. I'm going to start with the large Pool Party flower and overlap that just a little bit on the bird, like so. Then take the opposite color and alternate the color. So I'll take the small Petal Pink and put that on. And again, overlap the flowers just a little bit. And then we're going to reverse that for the top of it. And kind of come a little bit, here's the center, just kind of drop down just a little bit on the right-hand side. So I've got my bird on the left, and kind of so that your eye carries all the way from top to bottom and at a diagonal. And we'll put our little Pool Party. All right, so I wanted to stop right here and show this as how cute would this be just on your card front too. So while I'm making a treat holder out of this, I wanted to just kind of stop right here and just note that you could do so many things with just this design. If you were going to put this on a card layer, you would not need to put the backing on it. You know, you could just die cut it out with the designer paper and just do that layer. But again, I doubled up because we're doing a box and I want it nice and sturdy. But I just think that's adorable. It's easier for me to get things put on at this angle so that you can see. I am having the basic gray and smoky slate pearls today as a little extra bling on here. And so let me get those out. You can pick, there's a couple of different tones on that. You can pick whatever tones that you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and use this one that I've kind of started that row with. And then that's our bling. All right, so now all we have to do is create the box for our candy. Put the bling aside, some of these other things here. Okay. All right, so again, for our box, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a piece of 3.5 by 3.5 smoky slate. And I've got it scored ahead of time at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So score it at 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. And then with my paper snips, on one of the sides, I'm going to make my tabs. So I'm going to cut up and then make a little angle cut. It's called mitering the corners. Oops, that one I didn't get right on the seam. Cut that out a little more. And then the same thing on the other end. Get those out. And then turn it 180 degrees to the opposite side and make tabs again. So follow your score lines up with your snips. And we'll angle cut. And make our little box for our candy. Okay, I get all of these little scrappy scraps out. Now I'll get out our bone folder and we'll make some nice crisp edges. So we'll do this. Sometimes I start to glue the tabs down before I do this step, and then the box is okay. It's just never as crisp on the corners. You know, so the box edges aren't as sharp. So like if you want to do that, you can just really get the inside ones there. You could use tear and tape or whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue. Oops. Get that wiped off. So I did 2 of the tabs. Those are going to go inside. And try to match up your right edges, your corners. Do one at a time. And then we'll do our other side. Turn in the flaps, put a little glue on it. And put those down nice on the corners. So, so then there's our little box, and our candy then will fit right inside of it. So even if you just do the box and use other things for it, like that's how you can make a little nested box for our candy. I came across having it so that this part of it is, I believe, 1.5 here. And well, I know it is, it's 1.5. And the reason for that is that it was the size that would fit perfectly and hide the box. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Let me just show the sample. So from the, from the front of it, you don't have any box extending from it. And so when I designed that, that was on this particular one, that was the whole purpose, so that, you didn't see the box extended out on it. And then whatever little candies that you want to fit in would work. All right, so now it's up to you on which side that you want to do to have exposed. I don't think it really matters. It's a square on it. So let's just put it so that the, like here's where the little tabs are at. Let's put that facing the birdhouses. So on that side that we put the flaps on, we want to go ahead and put liquid glue. I would recommend liquid glue just to give you that wiggle room of placement. And so you can do it one of 2 ways. I kind of started out like this and just kind of, whoops, you can kind of flush it to your birdhouse. I'm just gonna, kind of gonna tap it and just eyeball it. You want to keep it flat or flush on the bottom. And then if I need to scooch it over a little bit, it's kind of awkward with trying to show the angle here with the camera. So I think I just won't. Just going to kind of look behind here and press it. Okay, there we go. So that's the cute little front. And this is why I said if you want to, you could just stop with the front. That would still be super cute to have that as a little treat holder just with the back side of it not shown. But if you did want to make the front and back birdhouse like what we're doing here today, we'll go ahead and put liquid glue on the opposite side for the back. And then again, we'll just kind of match it up so it's not shown. And you like, it's easiest to do it on a flat surface so that you know that the edge of the bottom of the birdhouse is flush with it. And there we go. There's our cute, adorable little treat holder for, you know, for the Ferrero Rocher candies. My mom and sisters never watch my videos, as you've heard me say time and time again. They're not crafty. They just like to get the goodies that I make. I'm going to see them this weekend, and they're each going to get a little birdhouse treat. So I can't wait to make more of these. I just think these are adorable. And I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. All right, so that's the birdhouse. And like I said, if you wanted to, while you've got your supplies out, I thought this would make a cute little companion piece to it. This, and I'll tell you the tricks to the sizes here in a little bit why I did this. But this is from the stamp set. It says, hoping you have the best day ever. I love that when sentiments, like, don't get me wrong, I like Mother's Day sentiments, happy birthday sentiments, etc. But I also like ones in here that it can be for anything. So they didn't have to put a Mother's Day in here or a graduation. You can just have hoping you have the best day ever. So I really like that. And let's go ahead and make this card. This one will go together very quickly for us. Oops, there's all of my birds that I'm going to be, I mass produced them while I was doing it. Make another bird exactly the way that we did before. Let me scooch out all of my stuff here. These are my extra pieces. I hadn't meant to put those in there. Birdies everywhere. Okay. So for our mini note card, what I did is, or how these are, is that you can make 4 of these out of 1 sheet of cardstock. So typically our card base is 8.5 by 11, which represents that. If we take the 8.5 by 11 and cut it basically in half, just to kind of give you perspective, we can have 1/4 of a sheet of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 5.5. And because the sentiment goes east-west, I'm going to fold it, you know, long ways so that I end up with a 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 piece of mini note card. So these are great if you just want to make a little mini note card. You can do either orientation, because I know I'm going, like I said, in this direction with the sentiment. I'm going to have it be this way. Plus, I like that it's lower profile than our card. Hi, Doreen. Thanks for saying hi. So besides our note card here that we did, again, it was started with a 4 1/4 by 5.5, fold it in half along the 5.5 inch side at 2 3/4. And we're going to layer it with a piece of our petal pink cut at 4 by 2.5. And then our country, oh goodness, what is it? The country lace designer paper. I chose to use the same pattern out of the birdhouse here. And this is cut at 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And we're just going to do some basic layering on our card front. I'm just using the liquid glue. So just some basic matting layers. I chose the petal pink on the outside of it because, again, it's closest to the birdhouse layers that we're using. I think it just kind of adds a little bit of continuity to the companion piece to our treat holder. And then we'll center that onto our card front. Now for a little bit of stamping. I'm going to use again that Hope You Have the Best Day Ever. The stamp set on the Country Birdhouse is a photopolymer, meaning it's a clear stamp, so you can see where you're stamping. And so I'm using our Smoky Slate ink. And that just goes right in the center. Give it straight down, give it a second to transfer, and we've got our stamp. Go ahead and close up my ink pad. And this is where, whoops, make sure I have it going in the right direction. Just like on the birdhouse, I want my little bird to kind of be at the bottom. And I want to kind of see where to position my sentiment. It'll go edge to edge of the designer paper. And I don't want to do it right in the center because then my little bird, might overlap. So if just kind of give it a little bit of a staging here first to make sure that you have it where you want it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. It can be pretty close to the center of it, but it might be, you might need to go just a little bit higher depending on where you want to put your bird. So I'm going to go ahead and place that. I know that I'm in good shape. Super quick little note card. Again, that's for, easy to mass produce and super cute. Get my, Doreen commented on our tulip trip. Yes, thanks. I'm going to put my little bird clear down at the bottom here. We took a bus trip to Holland, Michigan, which from here isn't very far. It's just the state north of us. And it was so nice to have take a bus trip. Well, it's definitely a longer trip because, we're stopping and picking up other passengers along the way. But what makes it nice is that we don't have to drive. They plan our things. They drop us right off, and it's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. We had such a good time. And thank goodness that we did it yesterday or that day instead of yesterday when all of the storms in this area was going on. But it was beautiful and we had a great day. Highly recommend, Holland, Michigan at tulip time. It's so beautiful and they do such a great job. All right, so as you saw, I did another little mirroring of our the same flower, and we'll go ahead and do this. Okay, and then, oops, let's do a little Wink of Stella on our bird again. Add a little sparkle. So even, and then, and you can sew, just go ahead and with these little mini cards, you can sew, just mail them. I mean, it doesn't have to have a special smaller envelope or anything. You can always tuck these in and just have a cute little mailer by itself on that. But this is our project for the day. I'm using this as a Mother's Day. I know that the time is tight for the video to use it as a Mother's Day, but some other ideas that I thought it would be perfect for any of your ladies' functions that you might have, that you're the host and you want to have a little, spring or summer treat holder welcoming them at their place setting. So if they had the treat and the card, they're greeting them, how sweet would that be? So any ladies groups, a church, a church function, maybe you're doing a spring brunch with somebody, just anytime. I think that these would really, well, when you're not talking through it, they actually go together very, very quickly. And the die cutting is super easy and fast. And then you've got a cute little thing, a cute little note card idea too, to kind of gift to somebody at the same time. Well, let me turn the camera around and see if there's any more questions. Well, thank you guys so much for thinking that it's a cute project. I just am like in love with this suite of products. Again, this is called the Country Woods Suite. The designer paper is Country Lace and the Country Birdhouse. And I just don't think you know, I've seen these where they're changing up the colors and everything. So you don't have to just stay within the realm of this. It's an adorable stamp set and bundle. And I think that we'll all enjoy it, those of us that might get it. All right, everybody. Well, have a great Wednesday. Let me know what you think of the project. Again, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, a share, a heart, however you want to, you know, let me know that you like the project. And if there's anything that I can ever help you with, please reach out to me via a message, and I'll do my best to try to answer it to my best ability. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day and happy crafting. Bye-bye.